This is TWiT.
The Twitter troubles continue with Elon Musk. The staff is up in arms, as you might imagine. Part of the problem is if you take it public, their compensation, which is based on stock, suddenly becomes a little iffy.
Private.
Elon's...
Private.
Yeah.
Take it private.
You said if you take it public.
Vice versa, yeah. Although... The reason I was thinking that is because Elon, who's trying to get the rest of the money together, has been
it's like in a couple of years I'll make it public.
He's been reassuring investors, don't worry, we're gonna go public in 3 years. Like, oh great, that's good. After what happens, so he's basically saying, yeah, I know I can't make any money on it, but we're gonna shine it up, polish it up, we're gonna sell it back to the stock market, and then
new kitchen counter, it'll be
beautiful,
worth a lot more.
Yeah. He's basically
flip Twitter.
saying he's gonna flip Twitter. You nailed it. Yeah. Flipping Twitter.
Show title.
There should be a new
Painted red.
Discovery TV show. You know, social media flippers or
Flipping
something.
social.
Poor Agrawal had to reassure the staff, who said he seems very, very tired and unhappy.
Well, I mean, he just got the gig.
Well,
and
wait
all
a
of
minute.
this stuff is
And
happening,
everybody's
right?
insulting him.
And he's got a golden parachute, I think $44 million.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
He's going to be okay,
Yeah, no
right?
pity.
Would you be sad and tired if you knew in 6 months, I got $44 million and a lot of time on my hands?
Miserable.
I'm miserable. For the most part, he stuck to the script, says Platformer. This is Casey Newton's blog. This was a simple business deal designed to provide the most benefit to shareholders. At one point, he apologized before once again using the word fiduciary.
Oh.
Excuse me, but I'm going to use the word fiduciary again. He said, he began by saying, please stop leaking to the press. He made a low-key effort to rally the troops while acknowledging he had little idea how Musk might change the company. Newton writes, we don't know the specifics of change. I don't want us to go in believing nothing will change. He quotes him. He urged the company's current employees to stick around.
I mean, is it unfair?
Please don't leave.
Is it unfair to assume that Musk is going to make that a better business, Twitter a better business?
Some say Musk may lay off more than half the staff in an effort to cut costs.
But Twitter is a business, right? I know we use it as a social media platform.
Yeah, but it's a money-losing business.
But they're right. So,
but it actually doesn't actually lose money, right? I mean,
well, it doesn't make money.
Positive cash flow.
Well, hold on. Well, do they report Twitter?
Oh, they just reported. They just reported. So
let's see what the Twitter. Let's see what the Twitter results are. The stock is up to $49, which tells me the market doesn't believe they're going to get $54 a share from Elon. Stock, I'm looking for the quarterly results. Do you have them somewhere?
Still underperforming.
I thought they just released it.
I'm looking for it.
All right.
But I mean, people are just upset.
Twitter latest filing admits losing advertisers on TechCrunch.
Okay.
May 3.
Okay.
So they're losing advertisers. Let's see what else is going on.
But again, it's still a business. What is wrong with someone saying, hey, my business is failing and I'm trying to make my business better? So if someone wants to buy this business and make it better and have at it.
This is just an SEC filing.
It's SEC filing.
Yeah, it's not a quarterly results. Its core advertising business could now be at risk as a result of Musk's takeover. In addition, employee hiring and retention efforts and other factors at risk.
Yeah.
So it's a business that never historically has made very much money. It has a lot of mind share. That's the value, right? Is the brand is worth something. Employees are upset and possibly leaving for a variety of reasons. Partly because
sounds like any other business.
Yeah, but
you complaining, Ed?
Would you spend $44 billion of your money on it?
No, I wouldn't.
This feels
but what I'm saying is look at like Dell and all of those other companies that they went through some form of a transformation. It's like,
Dell.
Michael Dell
do
better.
Took Dell private. Yeah,
Dell took him private, though. He took it private with a strategy. His strategy was convergence, and he's actually implementing that strategy. And executing on that strategy.
And it is perfectly fine. I was just
it's all good.
I was just trying to fill in the blank, but your blank was right.
My blank is just blank.
And he, by the way, did the same thing because he took it private in 2013 and 5 years later put it back on the stock market.
Yeah, that's what you do. He basically wanted to take it out of the public. Yeah, out of the public eye. But
I see. The idea being, we're going to put a big sheet over it and fix it and then unveil it.
His concern was Wall Street had such short-term thinking that they were not valuing the company's investments properly.
Okay.
And sure, every CEO thinks that, right? Right. I'm sure. But he actually had a plan and a strategy because his whole thing was building out converged computing strategy for cloud infrastructure. And he actually has done that.
I do remember in 2013 when he did that, people were saying, he's overextended. This isn't going to work. This is a really risky move. People were just
I didn't say that.
They were just as skeptical.
I said that he was
You thought he would do well. And you were right.
I knew exactly what he was doing because we could see it.
So, Miss Stacey, is the problem that this is Elon Musk that's taking this on? Would people say the same if it were, say, I don't know, what's his name, Buffett?
Elon doesn't seem to have a plan. Like Michael Dell came in with a plan that he articulated and had been articulating for months ahead of time. And the other thing is, I'll just be honest, Elon Musk does not have the gravitas.
Right.
And not even this like theoretical gravitas. This man's like a total... You cannot take him seriously with a lot of things. And there's also the fact that he's got multiple other businesses to run. And historically, his businesses have not met their deadlines in some of the execution has not been awesome. So and I drive a Tesla. I was excited about Starlink, for example. I'm not denigrating Elon Musk for being a visionary in lots of things that he does, but I also don't think he's not someone I'm like, oh yeah, that's a guy who's going to turn around a struggling social network. Well,
it's worse than that. He's said things that we know are going to be damaging. Take off the moderation that gets it to be finally a decent place. Invite back bad people. Do things like require identification, which hurts the vulnerable.
But what about open sourcing the algorithm? Is that a bad thing?
Yes.
Well, what does that
it's
mean?
just silly.
Well, first of all, Elon has no idea what open source means because back in the early days of Tesla, he said we're going to open source our car. He did not open source it. He just essentially said he licensed it. So he doesn't understand what open sourcing means. But you wouldn't want to, first of all, you probably couldn't open source the algorithm. He's saying it's like Coca-Cola. It's just the secret recipe. It isn't that simple. But even if you did, the real beneficiaries of that, in my opinion and others, is the spammers who would then game the algorithm. It's the same reason Google doesn't tell people how it works. Facebook doesn't tell people how it works because all that does is encourage gaming.
Gaming the system. Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep. So it's a different matter. I mean, but a better answer to your question, Ant. And this is why I keep harping on Blue Sky, because that is a plan that says let's make Twitter and other social media into a protocol so that people can post wherever they want. Hello, Kevin Marks. And then we could come along and say, I'm going to find all the good people talking about cameras. I'm going to find them about here and here and here and here. And I'm going to use these criteria and put it together in a new value-added Ant social world camera thing, right? Now, that's a strategy. That's more than just saying, oh, no, I'll make it open source.
Well, and it's interesting because we talked about that on Sunday. Cory Doctorow and Owen Thomas and Tim Stevens were on TWiT on Sunday. And Cory said, I asked about Blue Sky, and Cory said it's interesting because the way Blue Sky is structured, Elon does not control it. It is already funded, so Elon cannot take the funding away. And there's no guarantee.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. And there's no guarantee that what Blue Sky does would end up being under the aegis of Twitter anyway. They, so Blue Sky is a kind of a, skunkworks R&D project that is really going to be it's a hedge. It's going to be out of Elon's hands, which is good because Blue Sky looks to me a lot more like Mastodon. We were talking about federation.
Yeah.
And Mastodon, we run a Mastodon server, one of thousands, twit.social. Everybody, so you couldn't take Mastodon because you'd have, there's nobody owns it.
Right.
Eugene, who does the software is independent software developer in Germany. I guess you could buy him, but the software is open source, so somebody would fork it and keep it going.
Yeah.
And because this is the beauty of a federated server like Blue Sky or Mastodon, each server owner, me in the case of TWiT.social, decides what goes and what doesn't go.
Right.
And if you don't want to, if there are some servers I don't like on Gab, for instance, runs on Mastodon.
Yeah.
So I can say, I don't want to see anything from Gab. They can moderate it any way they want.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't want to see it, I just say in my settings, no Gab. And then nobody
Your users, I sign up for Twit's.
No, you can do it. This was an eye-opener to me.
Level.
It is at server level. Yes, I actually don't federate with Gab. So, but I might turn that back on because it turns out you can also do it as an individual. So you can be on any server and say, but I don't want to see traffic from server X, Y, or Z. So you really have total control over what you see. I think it's a beautiful system. Mm-hmm. Let me see if it's here.
I've been getting a lot of notifications for people following me on Mastodon, and I just want to say here that, folks, I hardly ever hop into TWiT.social.
Well, come on in. Come on in. We have a nice little group
spend more
going.
time in TWiT.community.
Well, that's a good place too. That's a forum.
That's
I love
where
both
I
of them.
More time. So jump over there, TWiT.community. It's free. Just sign up, and somebody I know sitting next to me, he'll walk you through the approval process, just like Mastodon.
Yeah, I am a fan of federation in general.
Yeah,
and that's what Blue Sky's about. Corey was very strong, although there was a funny little twist because when the Supreme Court decision was leaked, a number of people pointed out that all Justice Alito is saying is, well, because Corey was saying, just like the United States is a federation.
Yes.
And each state has its own rules. And Corey said, and this was before it was leaked, you just move, if you don't like the rules of your state, you move to another state with different rules. So if you don't want to be in Texas, you move to California or Washington State, as you did. I don't know why. I don't think it was because of that, Stacey, but that's...
Actually...
It was. Okay.
It wasn't solely because of that.
Sadly, when the decision came out, it became very clear that's a kind of a luxury to say, well, I'm not going to live in this state.
You can't just be like, y'all,
I don't like
just
the rules
move
here.
if you don't like it.
Yeah, that doesn't work for most people.
Right.
Especially the people who are, most deeply disadvantaged by this. But so it was kind of a little twist on this idea of federation. But, there are reasons the United States is strong. We do have a federated union, and each state does get to make a lot of its own rules. And I, in fact, think that's not a bad thing necessarily.